Thanks, Jeff. Our next speaker is Tony Han, who's co-founder and CTO of Jingqi.ai, which is the leading autonomous vehicle technology company in China. Previously, he was the chief scientist heading autonomous vehicles at Baidu. Tony, please join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Kadir. Oh, it's a great pleasure to be here. I was here last year, and of course, last year I was representing Baidu to talk about autonomous driving. And this year, it's getting more exciting. Now I'm talking about autonomous driving, representing our own startup. And let's see. So actually, I think Jeff really did a great job talking about autonomous driving and the basic concept. So, which means, I can skip some of my slides. I don't need to introduce what is motion planning decision. But let's think about it more broadly. So, as Jeff mentioned, autonomous driving is happening now. So my question is, when will I have an autonomous driving car? Okay, really. So I will review my answer or my prediction at the end of this presentation. So if you know my answer, stay here, don't go to the bathroom, and then you will know the answer. So, but before we go to this answer, actually, my prediction very, very closely coupled with three mega trends currently happening in car industry. One will be the electricity car, or we call it a new energy resource car. Okay, so autonomous driving is happening with electricity car. What does that mean? That means the controllability of the car is much better, and the cost is low, and there will be many, many car manufacturers or OEMs doing this car manufacturing. Like traditional in US, they only have three big manufacturers, but now we have Tesla. In China, it's another story. They call them internet car makers, like NIO and Singular. There are kind of tens or 20s car OEM makers, using new energy or making electricity cars. Second one will be shared economy. Just as Jeff mentioned, okay, you are going to call Uber, which is not autonomously driving. Probably you are not going to have your own car that is autonomous driving, but we can share. What does that mean? That means, first of all, the branding of the OEM is not that sensitive anymore. You call Uber, you don't care about it's made by BMW or made by Mercedes-Benz. So the other thing is like, you are not that sensitive to the hardware, okay, the car price. The third trend will be the AI, okay. It's just fit to the subject of this conference. AI is getting so hot. And I still remember when I was a graduate student, AI seems like a taboo, okay? You don't want to say you're working on AI because it's so difficult for you to find a job unless you go to the university to be a professor. But today AI is getting really hot, and it really has already generated very, very many surprising and meaningful results. And today, the value of the car has already shifted from the hardware to the software. And also, because of the car is autonomously driving, so people have more time in the car, so content will have more value. A little bit about this knowledge about autonomous driving, okay. These days, we have new concept of level 1 to level 5. Well, consider level 0 is a dumb car, and the level 1 will be very easy, like cruise control. Level 2 will be lane keeping. Level 3 will be something conditional assistant driving, like you are driving a Tesla, but still you need to pay attention. Level 5, to my knowledge, nobody is doing it. That means anywhere that a human can drive a car to, you have to make your car autonomous driving there. Basically, most of the autonomous driving companies are working on level 4. That is, in some restricted region, you don't need to always pay attention, actually. So there's no driver seat behind the car. So this is the definition. And why it doesn't work? Okay, cool. So a little bit about the technology. Actually, I have a different illustration of the technology Jeff used a kind of block diagram. I use another one. So basically, it's roughly about the same thing. So this is some core technologies. All blocks that are neighboring to each other means they have some dependency. So I will skip these slides quickly because you have already seen what motion planning is, what prediction is, what perception is. And I'll save time for the results later. But the good thing is this is a huge market for autonomous driving. Autonomous driving car is not simply a car. It is actually a robot driver plus a car. So that means like the business model, as Jeff mentioned, or as what we are doing at Jingqi.ai, that is, it will be a robot taxi business model so that you call a car and the car drives itself. It will be safer and save the labor cost. In this kind of competition, give me a feeling, in this kind of revolution or evolution, we feel like China and US are kind of in the first tier, and Japan and Germany are in the second tier. You may ask me, say, are you kidding me? We are talking about cars, okay? Japanese and German, they make perfect cars. How can they be second tier? The reason is because of AI, okay? Because autonomous driving, as I mentioned before, is coupled with new energy car. And with electricity car, the difference between cars are not that big. The key difference are the AI technologies. If you look at the development of AI technologies, US and China are undoubtedly top two countries in the world. Look at patents and cited papers numbers, okay? So that's undoubtedly, sorry, the legend was in Chinese. I don't know how to change it in 10 minutes. So you can figure it out. Blue, the number one on the left-hand side, that is AI patents. US is number one, China is number two. And the cited papers, China number one, US number two, okay? And talk a little bit about the current, can you hear me? Okay. The market in US, okay. In US, we have already seen this kind of, I would call it alliance. So who will make autonomous driving a reality in US? I would say who will get this kind of alliance, who can unite together and work really well will deliver the first autonomous driving, I think Uber is doing a great job. They acquired Auto and working on the autonomous driving, but also, the number one will undoubtedly, technology-wise, the Waymo, they have the most accumulated miles, and also they team up with Lyft and Chrysler. And we all know GM acquired Cruise and Ford acquired Argo. So this is a very, very intensive competition because there's a huge market and also will make human life better. So, and also why I say China and US will be the first here, because from the legislation point of view, China and US, they are two countries that give most support to autonomous driving. That's why, our company, Jingqi, we are trying to do a testing fleet in a city, just like what Uber is doing in Pittsburgh and in Phoenix. We are doing it also right now in China. So, and also a little bit about acceptance for autonomous driving. And the US and China are top two countries that are willing to accept autonomous driving. And people may ask, why do we want autonomous driving? Okay, just share some stories. Okay, first of all, safety. Okay, as Jeff mentioned, 90% is due to human errors. But if you do some analysis, we find out when you do the human errors are caused by 4D. Okay, first D is called drunk. Some people drunk and then of course cause lots of fatal accidents. The second one will be drugged. The third one will be drowsy. The fourth one will be distracted, sending message. All of these 4D reasons will be avoided by autonomous driving. And also, when we talk about the efficiency, every computers spend 2 hours, like in Silicon Valley. In China, it's even more of that time. And we can save that time. The other things, we don't need that, we don't need parking because you are going to do a shared parking, shared autonomous driving. Just like today, I took 20 minutes to arrive Great America Avenue, but I spent another 30 minutes to get into the parking lot and park my car. So finally, I missed Andrew's talk, sadly. So this kind of thing, people do some statistics. 40% of the traffic congestion actually are made by people have already arrived their destination but trying to find a parking lot. And also the savings, okay, we do some business model and we do some analysis. We can cut the fare by half. So this is our model. Like in Beijing, for example, we can really cut, by saving the labor cost, we can really cut the taxi fare by half. That is great, people will be more tend to call autonomous driving taxi. Here, I want to show you some, I will call it world record breaking speed. We found this startup, Jingqi.ai, in this year, April 3rd. And within 1 month and 9 days, we make our car drivable in a closed parking lot, okay? And this can do a control and do perception. And within 2.5 months, we got the California permit to do autonomous driving on open road. And within 2 months and 3 weeks of the founding of the startup, we actually make this car run on the open road. Although at that time it's not perfect, there's some abrupt break. But after another, within 5 months, we make our car actually drive in Silicon Valley in rush hour in Sunnyvale. So if you are interested in, send me an email. You can do a test run of our autonomous driving. We actually have a fleet of autonomous driving every day. So with this speed, it's great. So I just want to show you some video about our developing speed. This is our closed parking lot test. It can run in the night. So it's all in autonomous driving mode. So this is our deep learning based pixel-wise segmentation. It's not only give you a bounding box, it's actually give you point-wise, pixel-wise segmentation. I have been seeing many results. This one amazed me most. With such a short time, we can doing this kind of deep learning based segmentation. It's not only give you bounding box, it's giving you every LiDAR point classification in the region of interest. And this is not in a not so busy place. It's actually in Sunnyvale Park, and there's lots of many Google buildings. You can see the cars and the Google bus, and later you will see a lot of Googlers riding their Google bikes. I only have 5 minutes left, so I want to show you more. So this is our HD map. So if you see the line marks, the lane marks in the road, in the street, you will notice our quality of HD map. That's not captured by camera, actually by our LiDAR. So you have to pinpoint every laser points to put them perfectly together to see this kind of landmarks, okay? Otherwise, you will see a blurred image. This kind of crystal clear landmarks is done by very precise, laser points panorama. Okay. Although I enjoy watching. You can see the scene of the ground plane. Actually, we build up like city level. You can even see the curvature of the Earth. So I have to skip. But we have a booth. So if you want to enjoy this, want to watch the whole video, come to our booth. So the next one will be, we are not only working on some easy place, we are working on difficult place, like this kind of has the bridge, and you can even dive into the bridge to drive under the bridge. And also this one, I'll quickly skip. Actually, there's all kinds of scenario during the night. The light are difficult. I think this is our simulator. Okay, we are doing not only just like normal testing. We are doing large scale, very, very large scale, simulating the miles driven in this city scale HD map. And we use all kinds of different data. You will see we have some computer generated data. We have the realistic data. And we test our test drive in all kinds of scenarios. Okay, yeah, got it. So you can see at this city scale level of HD map, we have our perception representing all the obstacles. That objects can come from computer or from the real data lab, and then you test your planning and control algorithms. So a little bit about our team. Okay, so our team was founded by our CEO, who was previously Baidu SVP and leading the autonomous driving efforts in Baidu, and also a group of very talented engineers. You may ask, why can you do so fast? I would say we didn't take any single lines of code from outside, developed our own by a group of very talented people. And this is our test fleet. And in Q1 2018, we are going to deploy a testing fleet in China in a city called Anqing. And a little bit about capital. We raised like $52 million and start our Series A fund. And we want to build an ecosystem with local government, OEMs, tier 1 supplier, and smart transportation platform like Uber, Lyft, and Didi in China. And so the biggest announcement is in Q1, in China will be something like, there's a city called Anqing. It's a small city in Chinese sense. It's still a city of 2 million population, okay? But we'll have a robo-taxi cars. And it will be a fleet of autonomous driving of 50 cars and running in Anqing, just like you can get an autonomous driving car in Phoenix or in Pittsburgh. And so now I will review my answer when we will have an autonomous driving car. If you just want to take a test ride, 2018. And if you want to really use it in some cities, mid-size is 2020. And you want to use it in many cities, 2020. In metropolises like Beijing, New York, 2025. And if you want to own a car, not a shared car, after 2025. I don't know what time that, you have to wait. Okay, that's pretty much all I want to talk. Thank you.